Imagine waking to the rhythm of tides, sunlight filtering through whitewashed walls, the scent of salt and driftwood carried on a morning breeze. Before your feet even touch the floor, you hear it, the sea. Not distant, not muffled, but present, alive, as if it's breathing in sync with you. The morning light spills gently through sheer linen curtains, dancing across walls brushed in whitewash, their edges softened by time and sea air. Each surface feels touched by the coast, kissed by the quiet chaos of wind and water. This isn't just a house. It doesn't stand rigid or polished, separated from its surroundings. It belongs here, as if the tide itself shaped it, as if the earth knew it needed a place like this, a coastal boho barndominium, a sanctuary for those who crave something softer than schedules and screens, something wilder than suburban streets. Did you know that 70% of homeowners feel their space doesn't reflect their style? Don't be part of that statistic. Subscribe and start designing a home that truly feels yours. Run your fingers along the walls and you'll feel the subtle grooves of shiplap, cool beneath your hand, carrying whispers of storms weathered and calm skies returned. The timber beams, weathered, reclaimed, each knot and grain a story, stretch overhead like the bones of a ship, grounding you in a space that feels both raw and warm. The air moves differently here. It's lighter. With each breeze, there's a trace of seagrass, sun-warmed rope, and the faint mineral note of the ocean itself. You can't help but breathe deeper, slower, as if the house itself is teaching you how to exhale. Curtains sway as if pulled by invisible tides, and you notice how nothing feels confined. There are no sharp divisions, no heavy walls to separate the indoors from what lies beyond. Here, life blurs at the edges, the inside spilling into the sand and sky, and the outside drifting gently in. A beautiful home is not a dream, it's an art, and you're the artist. Subscribe and start creating spaces that speak to the soul. It's a space built for more than living. It's built for feeling, for the soul that doesn't just want a roof and walls, but a refuge where clocks don't dictate, where the horizon is the only line that matters, where the day begins not with alarms but with the ocean's steady, endless pulse. Here, in this home, you don't just exist. You arrive. On the edge of the world, where the sea kisses the horizon, a home waits. Not just built, but breathed into existence. It isn't big in the way cities measure grandeur. There are no glittering towers, no sharp edges of steel and glass reaching for the clouds. Instead, it feels as though it grew here, like the seagrass swaying on the dunes or the shells scattered along the shoreline. A place not assembled, but discovered. This isn't a mansion dressed in polished perfection. It isn't a cabin, tucked away and shadowed by towering pines. It is something different, a shape that feels both familiar and new, wide open, like the horizon itself. Honest in its materials, every board and beam kissed by salt air, every shutter and door breathing with the rhythm of the coast. Step closer, and it feels less like a structure and more like a pause, a deep inhale, a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary spaces don't shout. They whisper, they invite. Because here, in this Coastal Boho Barndominium, nothing is rushed. The walls don't just hold space, they hold stories, of driftwood collected from forgotten beaches, of paint sun-bleached over time, soft as the morning fog, of doors that creak not in age but in welcome. It doesn't demand that you admire it. Instead, it pulls you in. With every breath of ocean air slipping through its open hallways, with the gentle creak of rope and timber, with the way the light dances through wide windows like ripples on calm water. And though it may look still, it's alive. Alive in a way only homes by the sea can be. It shifts and sways with the wind. It listens to the waves as they crash, and it holds them close, like a lullaby you never knew you missed. Transform your home. Transform your life. Subscribe now and let's create spaces you'll love forever. It feels like freedom. Not the fleeting kind, but the kind that anchors you. The kind that whispers, stay, listen, breathe. And as you stand before it, just beyond where the tide leaves its trace, one question settles quietly in your chest. What would it feel like to live where the world slows down and the horizon feels like it belongs only to you? But it's not just beauty. There's a story in every corner. Every detail here feels chosen, not purchased. The rattan pendant lights, hand-woven in distant Balinese villages, cast a soft golden glow across the walls, their intricate patterns scattering light like fragments of sun on water. The beams above you, driftwood salvaged from a pier long claimed by tides, still carry the faint scent of salt and thyme, as though the sea hasn't quite let them go. Soft strokes of teal and coral break the neutral calm, colors pulled straight from the horizon at dusk. The kind of sky you can't bottle, but somehow they've found a way to hold here. It's not decoration, it's memory, a translation of the coast itself, woven into the bones of the home. And as you move through the space, a question begins to hum beneath the surface. Why do people choose this over the towering, sleek, modern homes with their endless glass and perfect lines? Because this place feels alive. It doesn't gleam under fluorescent lights. It glows under the sun, shifts with the seasons, creaks with the wind. The wood breathes, the fabric flows, and somehow it feels as though it's listening to you, learning your rhythm rather than forcing you into its own. Here, luxury isn't cold or distant, it's tactile. It's in the warmth of reclaimed wood under bare feet, in the cool touch of handmade ceramic tiles, each one slightly imperfect, a reminder that beauty isn't always uniform. In the way every item, every rug, every basket, every hand-carved table was chosen because it means, and here's what you don't expect. Behind those breezy barn doors, there's a secret the daylight doesn't reveal. A space that feels ordinary at first glance, quiet, unassuming, a room where shadows stretch long in the late afternoon. But as night begins to settle and the sky fades from gold to indigo, the transformation begins. The walls, which seemed fixed, slide away as if they were never meant to contain. What was once enclosed now opens completely, revealing the night itself as part of the home. Above you, no ceiling, only a vault of stars, so clear and endless it feels as though the universe has leaned closer, just for you. The ocean, once a distant hum, now swells into the foreground. Its rhythm becomes the soundtrack, every wave a note, every crash a pulse. This is more than architecture, this is alchemy, turning a simple barn-inspired frame into something that breathes with the world around it. A starlit lounge where time slows, where the air feels cooler, softer, scented with sea spray and the faint warmth of nearby lantern light. Here, the line between inside and out vanishes entirely. You aren't in a house by the ocean. You are part of the ocean's edge. It's a space for quiet reflection or shared laughter, for listening to the waves while the constellations spin overhead. And though it's unexpected, it feels inevitable, as if this home was always meant to shed its walls, to reveal its truest self when the sky darkens. Because this Coastal Boho Barndominium isn't just somewhere to sleep, to cook, to exist. It's a place that shifts with you, that knows when to close you in and when to set you free. At night, it becomes less a structure and more an experience, a reminder that the best moments in life rarely happen under a roof. And as you stand there, wrapped in the hum of the waves and the quiet glow of the stars, you realize this isn't just a home you live in. It's a home that lives with you. So, could you live here? Could you trade the familiar weight of walls for the gentle pull of the wind?